Hey sports fans, are you a crazy football fan? If the answer is yes, then Vegas Sports Nuts invites you to show up and root for your favorite team this Saturday at Murphy's Law on Flamingo, just east of Maryland Parkway. Join host Jonathan Scott for free drinks, great food, prizes, and a chance to be heard and seen by other Vegas Sports Nuts. If you love the Chargers and hate the Raiders, or love the Bears and hate the Packers, we want you at Murphy's Law. You can sign up and pre-register online at VegasSportsNuts.com and tell us why we should have you on the air. That's Vegas Sports Nuts every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Murphy's Law on Flamingo, just east of Maryland Parkway. Brought to you by Cadillac of Las Vegas on West Sahara and LVH Hotel and Casino. For more information and to register, go to VegasSportsNuts.com. Vegas Sports Nuts. They're crazy.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jonathan Scott. Welcome to Vegas Sports Nuts, coming to you live from Murphy's Law on Flamingo, just east of Maryland Parkway, with our guest, Mario Moneyline Longobardi.
Last week, missed you guys.
KJ Kenny Johnson, welcome back.
Yeah.
So where the hell have you guys been? Where were you last week? Let's hear from Kenny first.
I was on the slammer for 10 days. I've learned my lesson. I told everybody, take your grandmother's gold teeth, rob a liquor store if you have to, in the Houston and the Jets game. I got a phone call a week ago Monday morning, the detective from Flint, Michigan Police Department.
What was his name?
Boyle.
Detective
Boyle. Detective Boyle, yeah. Well, anyways, apparently Roscoe's liquor store got robbed. The guy that robs the place,
Is that
they
Roscoe?
arrest him.
Or is his name Roscoe?
No, it was Roscoe's liquor store. He tells the cops the guy in the radio told me to rob the liquor store.
So you then are an accessory.
I'm an accessory. So I have a detective from Flint, Michigan call me. I'm off the phone with him 10 minutes later. East Central, I get a cop calling me from East Central. Apparently Pedro's Taco Emporium and Pepe's Liquor Store gets robbed.
I'm sorry, what were the names of those?
Same story.
Pedro's Liquors? And
Taco Emporium.
Pepe's Taco Emporium and Pedro's Dry Cleaners?
Anyways, no, it's a liquor store. So anyways, the same story.
Liquor in
This
the
guy, Jorge Rojas, says the guy told me to rob the
Wait a
liquor
minute,
store on the
Jorge
radio. Yeah.
Jorge Rojas said what?
They tell me to rob the liquor store on the radio.
Now we're doing dialects.
Oh,
Welcome to Vegas Sports Nuts, okay.
Wow.
I tell him, I says, you might have
Jorge?
a liquor store, but you got nothing on me on the taco shop.
This is getting long.
No, I had to get
Take
a
your
lawyer.
time.
No,
You
I
got a
got a
full hour
lawyer.
to fill
It's
here.
not ready. So I learned my lesson about telling people to rob liquor stores to bet on football.
And
What
never
was
bet
it?
your mortgages.
What was the team that you told her
It
to
was
run?
the Jets and
The Jets Houston game. He actually went against this team and they actually covered.
Yeah.
Well, I was in Palermo, Sicily, and I was testifying
not.
on behalf of Mr. Gambini.
That Gambino.
I heard that my Porsche is about to arrive overseas for my appearance, so that's where I was last week. No, actually, I was at my daughter's soccer tournament in Phoenix, and they have a great team. Go Heat.
Camille's our new consultant here on Vegas
She is
Sports
our-
Nuts.
You should consult.
And we do want you to go to our website, which is VegasSportsNuts.com, VegasSportsNuts.com. We're brought to you by Cadillac of Las Vegas on West Sahara, where you can test drive the new ATS model of Cadillac. And let's start with...
How about we talk about last week's show
That's
without
right,
us?
you're ahead of me.
Okay.
Well, no, I actually was talking about Thursday. No, it was great. We hardly even... Well, we missed you.
Well,
Kenny.
actually,
Not so much.
actually, I watched it today on YouTube, and you guys really missed us. I'll tell
I
you how
mean,
much.
truth be told, I didn't know that Kenny was missing.
And I have to say something else. After last week's choice of cocktail, we should be slamming a shot of Jack Daniels or something to get the masculinity back, because
How do you know that I'm not? What does this smell like to you?
whatever Marty concocted last week with champagne and Grand Marnier and whatever else was sweet was
It was a pussy drink.
a little like
There's kids here.
I said it on the air last week. Kitties like it. And
And
dogs like it too.
And my last question is, as we all fought over the mic like this, when are we getting a third mic on this show?
Never.
Never.
Never. Because I like controlling the microphone.
I guess you do.
Also brought to you by the LVH Hotel and
Also-
Casino, 3000 Paradise Road, where we've got the best football in town. Football Central, 50-foot, high-definition monitors, concert sound, smoke-free environment, $1 hot dogs, $2 shots of LeBlanc. LeBlanc, L-E-B-L-O-N, if you're not too busy texting. I'm wearing a LeBlanc shirt, Casey. We're also on YouTube. That's YouTube.com.
We're supposed to go in on your boob there.
Yeah,
He
I'm
segued
pulling
into everything there.
So again, the LVH Paradise on Paradise, LVH Hotel and Casino, home of Football Central, and again, 50-foot high-definition monitors, concert sound. Stop by, say hello. First kickoff is at 10 a.m. tomorrow. But let's talk about Thursday.
Yes.
Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco 49ers. I think the point was, I took it at plus 8.5 on the Seahawks.
Well then, you should have taken all that money you won and gone to the crap table, because I have never in my life, I called Kenny and left him a message immediately upon the game ending. I said, Kenny, I've never seen this. A coach is going to take a safety off the board to go up by more than one score, and it's going to affect the line, which, as we know, closed at 8.5, and they would have been up by 9. There were probably people that threw their tickets out that had Seattle. It must have been crazy. I had listened to some radio this week, Jimmy Vaccaro's show. They were all over it. It was mayhem in the casinos.
Mayhem in the casinos!
And plus, you know, today in the NFL with that damn bull rush in the quarterback on a kneel down, who's to say a game's over with 43 seconds to go, up by 7? You know, people say that it went back to Harbaugh and his
Harbaugh is a bum.
Harbaugh and Carroll back in college when one was at USC. But I don't think that he possibly could have in that moment said, you know, I'm going to make good on that time I called timeout at Stanford to rub in the score and not take the safety. I think the best possible explanation is that his team was really banged up after the Giant game. It was a very short week, and he didn't want a chance of a guy getting hurt on the onside kick, which they would have done. But certainly those 2 points and how it affected a 7-point spread, great story.
Kenny?
How can you top that?
You get a close-up sometimes of his reactions. How can you top that? That's all you have to say is, how can you top that? He didn't even come up for air.
It was the correct call in the situation, but people throw the gambling angle onto the play call. It was the correct call.
But
Can
you
we go a
can't
little further?
separate it. You can't separate it these days, gambling and
It's the correct call in that spot, because you got the ball, you take it, the game's over, or something goofy can happen on the free kick. So.
yeah, but you also have a chance to go up by 9, game over, rather than one score. What if on the exchange from center on the kneel down there was a fumble and you're only up by 1 score? I mean, I know that could never happen, but Tony Romo dropped a damn 19-yard field goal snap and lost the playoff game to Seattle. I mean, anything can happen. The chance to go up by 9 is very important there. I'm sorry.
Kenny?
Joker Sarchik and Larry Zonka
There you
were not on
go,
the
Joker
field.
Sarchik and Larry Zonka. Boy, you'll be milking that forever until you win another damn Super Bowl.
Yeah, I met Dick Butkus the other day over at Field of Dreams.
That coach.
Dick Butkus? No, that would be Mike Ditka.
Oh, Mike Ditka, coach.
But a former Chicago Bear. Can we go a little further back and talk about that Bronco game? I mean, no, we didn't talk about that.
Right, we
you
didn't
guys have
even.
been absent with that. He was in Slammer.
North Turner.
You were playing soccer.
How about North Turner blowing a 24-point lead in the second half?
Well, the Giants know all about blowing 24-point leads.
In the playoffs
against
one
the
time.
49ers.
Yes, okay.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, that was a dark day in New York Giant folklore. We allowed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to meander to the playoffs and walk away with one that year. They should have never won the Super Bowl that year.
And what do they wear underneath their bucket hats?
The Buccaneers.
So the Broncos. You'll laugh later on. You'll be laughing like silly crazy. So yeah, 24.
Go on about the 24-point blow
We're
lead.
going back to
At the half, was that like the biggest lead ever?
Giants were up 38-14 and they lost 39-38, but pass interference was not called on the last play of the game. That was when they gave the ball.
And he wouldn't get on the
But
plane.
we have talked about this play already on shows past, so we got a lot to go.
Let me ask you both a question about, do you see a serious difference, a noticeable difference between the refs being back?
Yes, I do notice the pace of play is better, but there's the occasional blown call. There's no question about it. Nothing like what happened in that Seattle Packer game, but you know, you do see an irregular call.
The control of the game was back.
Yeah,
That was the biggest problem you had with the replacement refs. They had no control over the games. The players and the coaches were running the games, and that's not how it's supposed to be. There's still bad calls. The Packers have had a couple of bad calls a couple of weeks in a row, but there's been nothing blatant that's cost anybody a game.
Once again, you listen to Vegas Sports Nuts from Murphy's Law on Flamingo, just east of Maryland Parkway. I'm your host, Jonathan Scott, and you can find us on the web at vegasportsnuts.com. First game of the week, first 10 a.m. game we want to talk about is Tennessee Titans versus Buffalo Bills. Mario, you refer to it as a pig fest.
The first pig fest of the week, yeah, that's what Kenny and I call these kind of games. You kind of hold your nose and pick a team. Buffalo is not a 500 team, but fortunately they're playing one of the worst teams in the league, who happened to beat Pittsburgh, and boy, you just wonder what's the deal with Pittsburgh, and we'll get to them later. But Buffalo's 3 wins have been against Kansas City, Cleveland, and Arizona. And I don't think Arizona is as good as a lot of people give them credit for. They got a good defense, but they'll be a 6-6 team by week 12 after the 4-0 start. You know, Titans beat the Steelers as a head scratcher, but I scratched my head after the Raiders beat the Steelers. So I don't think the Steelers are as good as some other teams in their own conference even. So I'm not going to get too excited about that Titans win. They still give up 300 yards per game by the air, and they're last in the NFL in defense. This is 2 of the, you know, bad coaching hires, in my opinion, or average coaching hires in the offseason, and their teams play with no identity.
So, identity theft, you think?
I think so.
Bills are -3.
Yeah, I'm just going to take the Bills, and I care not one way or the other on the over-under, but I'll take the Bills. But it's not a game I put my money on.
KJ?
This is close to a wash your grandmother's laundry game. Close. Is Tennessee still touching themselves for beating Pittsburgh? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Are they still doing what?
Still touching themselves for beating. That's a Madonna song. Oh!
Okay.
That's a Madonna song. I'm allowed to say.
It's not
It's been done before. Keep going.
It's not a Madonna song.
They're touching themselves.
You need to have a sponge of water
Yeah,
to throw
well,
it
I can always
The
throw a break. I
Divinyls.
mean,
The Vinyls, excuse me. The Vinyls, Madonna, the Giants, same thing.
What is it you like in the game, Kenny?
Buffalo Bills -3, Tennessee Titans, they're in Buffalo. 46.5 is the over and under. -3. Buffalo
I
Bills.
guess Buffalo, but
So you're agreeing with the money line over here?
this is not a game I would want to have to.
All right, you're not really that interested
No,
in the game.
no. There's
All right.
there's more than
By
a
the way,
couple
speaking of
them.
money lines last week, Marty, right out of the chute, picked Cleveland money line. He had it. They were only like a 4-point
That's
dog.
because
He
he
had
had
it.
like the 4 seasons.
Yes,
in
I know.
Cincinnati. That was
My
the
God.
reason. Yeah.
Money market.
The only thing more random than Marty picking the NFL is to play the New York Jets. You don't know what to expect week to week. Marty's.
Oh! Of course, for those that are listening for the first time, Kenny is our resident Jets fan. Mario's a resident Giants fan.
Yeah.
That's what makes this show so great.
He's
That
so
we can
giving
get
up.
along. It's kind of like Geneva here.
He's
Kinda
still
like
giving
it's-
up on his team that he's now wearing Jim Morrison and Blue Oyster Cult shirts
right.
because he can't wear green anymore. It's just too embarrassing.
All right, let's move on to
I had
Arizona
to let the
Cardinals.
homeless guy in Flamingo and I-15 borrow my Jets shirt so we could make some money today.
He's in jail right now. Arizona Cardinals versus Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. Vikings -4.5. Kenny, let's start with you.
Vikings comeback spot. The NFL this year, I've been noticing, and I'm sure you have too, that when you get a decent team that stinks the place up, they seem to come back and play good last week, or the next week, sorry. Vikings lost last week. The Cards got to be saying, how do I hit a 60-yard field goal? And then, was it a 37-yarder he missed?
39 yards, 61 and 31, 39 with a back-to-back field.
And that's a tough emotional spot to recover from.
Mario.
I'll tell you what, the Vikings were asleep for 2.5 quarters, and then Ponder brought them back like he's done all year. I truly thought that if RG3 doesn't shake loose for 76, that the Vikings are punting, and that the Redskins are punting, and the Vikings come back and win that game. Ponder does very well in the second half for a guy only in his second year. I said 3 weeks ago, I said I'd rather have Ponder than RG3 or Cam Newton, and I'm telling you, it will play out one day that will be the case. Jared Allen's going to have a big game here against Arizona. He's just getting his neck back in shape. Peterson's ankle is a questionable. I don't know if he's going. I think he's on probable right now.
Probable last night.
Right, and you know, without Cobb back there, and who was Cobb to start with, I think Skelton is a quarterback that cannot get the ball upfield.
Their offensive line is a disaster. The quarterbacks are running for their lives.
Yeah. How about Christian Ponder dating now Samantha Steele from the college game?
I'm distracted right now.
Yes, she's. Megan, by the way, you were the highlight of last week's show, sir.
You were the highlight of the
Yes,
show.
you were. Anyway, back to point. There was a big article about Ponder dating Samantha Steele, who does the side reporting in college. And I thought at first it was a porn star client. Samantha Steele. So.
See where his mind is.
I do like the Vikings in this game, and I think that they're going to get off to a good start this game, which they haven't done in a while.
Mario, Vikings, Kenny?
Vikings.
Two Vikings. Both are paying again.
And the under.
And the under 39.5 under?
Yeah, I like the under.
That's what killed me on Thursday night.
I know they're hard to bet the unders in the high 30s, but I like the under anyhow.
Once again, you're listening to Vegas Sports Nuts. I'm Jonathan Scott. We're coming to you from Murphy's Law on Flamingo Road, just east of Maryland Parkway. Brought to you by the LVH Hotel and Casino. Today's also the 5th annual Monster Mash Car Bash. The Monster Mash. It's easy to say. Monster Mash Car Bash. It's a fun family event featuring custom classic specialty cars, motorcycles, live entertainment, food and beverage, and a Halloween costume contest for the kids. It's a free event. It's open to the public. It's till 3 o'clock, so get on over there. Well, this might even air after that, but all proceeds are benefiting Fast Finding Artistic Solutions for tomorrow for tickets. And also tonight is Led Zepp again at the LVH. Visit the LVH box office or thelvh.com. We're going to be right back with Vegas Sports Nuts after this commercial.
Come back! Woo!
Hey, we're back at Vegas Sports Nuts. I'm Jonathan Scott, coming to you from Murphy's Law on Flamingo Road and just east of Maryland Parkway, brought to you by Cadillac of Las Vegas on West Sahara. Okay, let's move on to Browns and Colts. Mario.
The Browns and Colts. Well, Luck did not have his best game of the year last week.
Who did he play against?
Drew Luck played against the Jets.
Oh,
You guys finally found a patsy to beat. Congratulations.
Ooh.
Sean
Patsy.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute.
Sean Green matches.
We're patsies. Remember that from a few weeks ago?
Oh, you guys are patsy. The fact that you guys are 3-3 is like a magic trick. Honestly, you guys are going to get pasted this week. Cleveland, congrats on your first win. You got Richardson healthy. But with the coaching, you know, this is new. First of all, we got to talk about this. How are the Cleveland Browns worth $1 billion? I mean, I heard that number, like, who rounded that number up, first of all? And second of all, the Browns? What are the Cowboys worth if the Browns are worth $1 billion?
The question is, what has Brown done for you?
Yes.
I heard a lot.
Yeah, well, anyway, they're getting Richardson back. The coach and the GM are in limbo here, and I think this is going to have a huge hangover. New boss, those guys don't think they're going to have their job at the end of the year. You know, Luck's going to rebound. I do think they had kind of a slump last week against the Jets. It was kind of a bit of fatigue I'm watching him ask for a drink. It's unbelievable.
Can I have another Jack? I know you guys are busy. Can I have another Jack Daniels on the rocks, please?
This is a live show in case you're wondering, Tom.
Tommy, would you go
drink.
I like the Colts to rebound. I think after they left it all on the field the week before to beat the Packers for their coach, that was a down week. They'll be back playing good this week. I like the Colts.
Got me that?
Another wash your grandmother's laundry game. The Colts again, like I said, they were putrid last week, so that means they're going to come back and play good this week. Cleveland's got their first victory. I think they're happy with that for a game or two.
That's pretty much how I feel.
Once again,
and I like the under. This is
Oh,
a
do you?
big fest. I think this could be a 17-13 game.
I mean, last week was fun with Browns and Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play the Bengals, you're going to have to score points. But I don't think that's necessarily the case with Indianapolis. I think that Cleveland's going to go to Richardson a lot more on the ground if he's healthy enough to play. He's probably not.
Well, we invite you to join us over at the LVH Hotel and Casino for Football Central every Sunday. First kickoff's at 10 o'clock, 50-foot high definition concert. I like choking while I'm reading.
Yeah,
It's a great eat and joke and everything else. And let's
This is
move
live.
on. Yeah, it's live. It's live.
Believe it
video.
or not.
And you can see us on YouTube. So join us at Football Central at the Las Vegas Hilton. I'm sorry, the LVH, formerly the Las Vegas Hilton. Baltimore Ravens, Houston Texans. Mario.
Very interesting game here. Ravens banged up, lost Ray Lewis, who now is going to take Suggs' spot on the PUP list, IR list, that he can come back. I think it's a great rule, and we talked about this in week 1. Because Suggs was able to come back early, Lewis took his position and now has the option of coming back. And I think just having Lewis on the sidelines for support of the team, and I think he will be back for the playoffs. I know Ray Lewis, he's going to give it his all, and he'll play with a taped up broken leg like Jack Youngblood if that's the case. I do hearken back to a story, and it goes back to my Giants. The great Harry Carson, and I'm going to say something, Jonathan, you won't agree with, who was better than Mike Singletary and got less credit because he played on such miserable Giant teams for 7 years.
Samurai Mike.
He finished his career on IR, and had this rule been in place, Bill Parcells would not have put Harry Carson on IR, and I do think that we lost our way in '88. It was one of the worst losses ever to lose to the Jets that day, with Harry Carson officially on IR.
You
but
lost
I think
to who?
the New York Jets. But I think Parcells thought he was going to win that game, and why wouldn't he? The Jets were 5-10, and they would need the roster spot for the playoffs. So I think that's why he put Harry on IR, and I think they could have used his presence. And I see them doing the same thing with Lewis. Do I see the Ravens? They're 5-0 in their last game. Last 5 against Houston. The culture has changed for sure. They can score points now, and they're banged up on defense. They gave up 272 yards pass defense. They've been in a lot of close games. 3 of them have been 1 or 2 points. And I think that Joe Flacco has had a tremendous year, because I think it's his best year as a pro easily. And I see Houston being vulnerable here if Baltimore comes out and runs the ball. Because if there's one thing I saw, I thought the Packers just completely out-physicaled them last week on Sunday night.
No, they put them in a dress last week, and they were humiliated on national TV.
They were.
I think this is a perfect spot for the Texans to get their stuff together.
Right.
And Baltimore's defense is a mash unit right now.
And this game was bet down from 6-4. A lot of money's going on the Ravens here, so that's very indicative of people don't think it's over for the Ravens. They're well coached, and I think they're going to play well. And I think they might even, they could money line this game. I would, if I was to put my money on anything and take odds, Baltimore's not a bad money line play this week.
Got anything else on Baltimore and Houston? Over and under 48?
Over.
Mario?
I don't like over or under, but I do think this game, I think the spread is pretty much indicative in terms of Houston losing to Green Bay. I just want to go back to that game.
Well, you went back to the word indicative.
Yes. Right now, to date, the NFC is 19-9 against the AFC. They've made a couple teams look bad. 19-9. That's a smoke fest right there. That's like 66, 70%. Yeah, they smoked them.
It's a smoke fest. It's something those hippies do. If you guys want to email us, you can email us at news1lasvegas@gmail.com.
Did you take your medication today?
News1lasvegas@gmail.com.
Back to the
Who has
medication.
not taken their
He
medication?
didn't take his medication today. It's very obvious.
All right, let's move on to Green Bay Packers -6, St. Louis Rams in St. Louis. Let me go over something here first of all. This is from Matt Yamundson today's RJ. I like to quote the world according to Matt here. A year ago, St. Louis went 2-14 straight up and 3-12-1 against the spread. How much has changed under coach Jeff Fisher? The Rams are 5-1 with home wins over Arizona, Seattle, and Washington. After blowing out Houston in Week 6, it won't come so easily for Green Bay this time. That's how this league usually works, Mario.
Well, I do like the Packers, but I also like this Ram team versus the Ram teams of past for sure. They got a guy to back up Steven Jackson and Richardson. Actually, Richardson's averaging 5.2 carries, yards per carry, versus Stevens 3.6. Bradford's a concern of mine right now. In his 3rd year, he should be better than 6 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. But you know, they're playing better defense. This whole West Division is playing defense this year, and if anyone would have told you that besides the Niners, I don't think you would have believed it. The Rams certainly miss Amendola, and his amount of catches the first 4 weeks of the year was outstanding. He's still the leading receiver by 12. But the Packers look like they're gaining stride. Rodgers looked awesome. He hit Jordy Nelson on that in pattern from 25 yards out. That was just as pinpoint accurate as you could possibly be. I do believe Raji and Jennings are out for this game. Packers got to find a running game. Well, what's going to happen is late in the year, the Giants will beat them again in January. They've got to find a running game. But I do like the Packers in this game. Go ahead, Kenny.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Perfect trap spot for the Rams. As well as the Packers played last Sunday night, the Rams lost to Miami. Perfect letdown trap spot for the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, the spread has now been bet up to 6. A lot of money's going on the Packers, but I don't know. I would take whatever 6 is plus 250 you can find out there for the Rams. Might not be a bad money line bet.
But showing minus 230 right now.
Yeah,
That's
well,
been in a move,
yeah,
yeah.
but it went up, so it's probably up. 5 is 230, 6 is, off 240, and 7 is normally about plus 250.
44.5. This game might go over. What do you
It
think?
is going to go over anyhow. I think 44.5 is a formidable number, but it's going to go over.
Cowboys, Panthers, Tony Romo. Cowboys, Panthers. What do we say about the Cowboys? Underachieving Cowboys still look good as favorites. Kenny.
The Cowboys own the Panthers. The Cowboys let one slip away last week. I have the Giant fan over here who's just drooling to talk about the Cowboys. So
Yes, he calls them Cowgirls.
Well, he drools about other things too, and I'm just going to let him.
Question I have for you. How many plays can you get off with 34
Oh, it's-
seconds to go in a timeout before a field
That
goal?
was- that
Your
was-
answer is?
That
If you're the
reminded-
Cowboys, 1.
That reminded me of Herman Edwards coaching the Jets. Absolutely pathetic clock management. Yeah.
One
That
play
was-
in 34 seconds,
that was-
and then they trot out the field goal
Yeah,
team,
that
which
was
misses the field goal. They're playing without DeMarco Murray. Could the Ravens be that bad against the run is my question, because Dallas ran all over them. I think Carolina is going to play a more straight-up fundamental game. I don't think they're going to give it away to Dallas this game. I think Cam Newton could have a good game, but they're very athletic on the defensive end, are the Cowboys, and that's how the Giants beat Cam Newton. I see this being an issue that Cam Newton's going to try to force it against athletic defenses, and he's going to get himself on IR before it's over. One of the injuries that turned out not to be an injury is Claiborne, which was the #1 draft choice for the Cowboys. And it's real important. It's real important that he comes back in the lineup healthy. I'm going to have to keep talking here. Anthony Spencer is questionable. But the Dallas defense is really respectable, only giving up 280 yards. We just have a microphone issue on the other side of the table.
Oh, no, nothing. Nothing but a little Vaseline kid. All right, so Newton's completed 58.8% of his passes with 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He's been sacked 13 times. Ground attack has not given him enough support, and now Pro Bowl center Ryan Khalil is out for the season. If Newton's on the run, Dallas outside linebacker DeMarcus Ware has 31.5 sacks in his past 24 games. What do you think of all that?
Well, I said most of what I thought about Cam Newton against that defense while you were on repair over there.
Yeah, I was fixing stuff.
The Dallas defense only 280 yards a game. They're certainly playing well enough. This is a team that's poorly coached and is giving up big plays on special teams and giving it away on offense. So I'll say I like the Cowboys mostly for their defense than anything else here.
It's only minus 2.5,
Yeah,
and same thing, 45.5 is kind of a tough number.
I like the under.
Where's Marty Martini through all this? Somebody want to go grab Marty? I know he wants to talk about the Redskins and the
I'm
Giants.
going to talk about the chili served in some city.
Yeah, you listened to that, right?
Yes, I did.
Redskins +7, New York Giants
Wait a
in
second,
New York.
did you even say anything about Dallas, Carolina? Go ahead. Come on.
Jump in,
Get
Kenny.
the water. Get the water.
Jump in.
What's the word count? Who's keeping track? 875 to 40 again, I think. Mario's way ahead of me again. This game stinks on ice. This is going to be ugly. That's the only shot that Carolina's got to win this game is to keep it ugly. And if you watched Dallas last week, I think they're just going to find a way to blow this one too.
Mm-hmm. Could be. Could be.
Carolina ranks 23rd in defense, and the Cowboys piled up 227 yards rushing in Week 6 against Baltimore. Commitment to the run would help Romo. Well, let's see what happens. It's going to be a good game. That might be the game of the morning. I think it probably will be. No, actually, your Giants-Redskins game is going to be the game that we're going to pick over
I think
here.
it's going to be, yeah. There's a lot to talk about.
All right, well, let's go ahead. Let's start talking about the Giants. I know you want to talk. You've been waiting.
Yeah, well,
So let's get in.
Ron, come on in here. Let's get Ron in here for the Redskin game. Well, I alluded to this a few weeks ago. Since we've been sharing the stadium with the Jets, we have absolutely no home field advantage. Really sharing it, like on the lease. We're 2-5 against the NFC East at home, and it's directly related to when we got in the new stadium. I will say though, there's a lot being made of the fact that the Redskins beat the Giants twice last year. Okay, 9 out of the 10 previous were won by the Giants, so that was just an anomaly last year. Redskins have been in just about every one of their games has been close. They're last in the league in passing efficiency on the road. But they do average 5.2 yards a carry. They can run the ball, and the Giants have average linebackers, and Canty might not be playing. If the Redskins are going to win, they got to give the ball to Alfred Morris more than they have the quarterback going right and left option here. That guy will put himself on IR. I've been saying it for weeks. He's going to get his clock clean. And I like my Giants. I always take my Giants. I like the game going over. I like how many points the Giants are scoring. They're third in the NFL in scoring. And I don't think points have come easy to the Redskins unless there's been a huge play like the 76-yard touchdown last week.
We're going to jump in and we'll go to commercial break. We'll come back with more on the Giants and Redskins game. You're listening to Vegas Sports Nuts coming to you live from Murphy's Law on East Flamingo. Okay, we're back live. Welcome to Vegas Sports Nuts coming to you from Murphy's Law on East Flamingo. We've got a couple additional guests here. Ron and Marty, introduce yourselves.
Hey, this is Ron and Marty. Actually, I'm Marty, he's Ron.
Marty Martini.
That's
What's
right.
the martini today?
Martini today is a vodka martini with a little pineapple and a Grand Marnier.
You do like the Grand Marnier, don't you?
Oh, you know.
He likes these girly drinks. Man.
He makes cupcakes.
He makes cupcakes. What do you
I
expect?
do make cupcakes, a lot of them, so there you go.
Let's plug it. Gigi's Cupcakes, also Flamingo and Maryland Parkway, right behind Target. And the other location at the Plaza Hotel, downtown Las Vegas. Anything you want to say about those delicious cupcakes other than just slap them on your ass?
But all the cupcakes are really good, some of them. Now, they're fantastic. They're
Aren't they fat-free?
they're fat-free, we just charge for everything else.
Ron, welcome back.
Thank you.
RP, what do you have to say for yourself, man?
I'm just honored that I'm invited back 2 weeks in a row. This is a wealth of knowledge at this table. So.
Who were you supposed to bring with you this week?
This young lady was supposed to join from UNLV soccer, Jamie, and she dogged us, unfortunately.
No, she dogged you.
Dogged me.
I think you guys are a little bit.
Jamie, give him a break. Give him
No,
a
too
break
much.
for
Did
this
she
guy.
listen to the show?
Did she? Well, she was here last week.
she was here?
And I think you guys scared her.
Oh.
Come
it was
on.
you, wasn't it?
Really? Really? She
Come
can't
on.
take it?
Yeah, Casey wasn't here
Take the
this
heat,
week.
get out of the kitchen.
All right, let's get
Let's take it over here.
all right, enough of your personal life here.
Let's
We've
go
got
back to the
football.
Giants Redskins. And I'm
Giants, Redskins. Mario, anything you haven't said about the
Well, I
Giants?
will say one
One thing.
The only game that my daughter has been to has been
Camille.
the Giant Redskin
She's now a
game.
consultant for the
Camille
show.
is the official consultant of the show. We went to the Giant Redskin home opener in 2009 when she was 6. And we won.
Home opener.
The home opener.
The home opener.
Home opener.
It's like a can opener.
Home opener.
What's wrong?
It's like a big can opener.
Marty, what do you think about Washington Redskins?
I think they're in Washington, actually. So, as opposed to the home opener, it's like a big can opener. I saw that. I remember that game because Mario brought me a picture back and framed it for Washington, and because he had to frame it, because that's one of the few times that the Giants have actually beat Washington.
Oh, yeah.
9 out of 10.
Oh!
Unlike last year, both games that
9 out of 10 previous to that. We've already addressed this.
unlike
Move
that,
on.
let's not talk English history. Last year, the only 2 games that Giants played Washington, they won. Matter of fact, that was the only 5 games that Washington won, but 2 of them were from the Giants. And I didn't remind you that. Kenny brought it up earlier. I didn't remember it, but now I know it was quite good.
Ron, come on, Ron, chime in on this game.
I think your Redskins defense played so admirably all season long that it's no one's ever noticed that we got these 2 rookies tearing it up on the Redskins offensive side of the ball. Alfred Morris has been incredible. So is RG3, as everyone expected. And he's pretty much doing what nobody's. Pierre Garçon had a great week 1, and he's been banged up. Either way, I just see the Giants as being so balanced, and I know it's always a dogfight. It's interdivision, and I just really think you got to go Giants and beat it by 10 at least.
You would think so, but this
You
is
said you were
the
done talking about the Giants.
More Giants.
Go ahead. I'm done with the Giants. Go ahead, Ken.
You're not done with
Good.
the
So it's
Giants.
only -3. That's what everybody's talking about.
Giants have only won 58% of their games in the new stadium versus
Minus
2/3 of their games on the road. Giants are a terrible favorite given 7, but we said that a few weeks ago against Cleveland and they covered, so I'm going to stick with the Giants. Kenny, why don't you say something?
I gotta go with the Redskins. I gotta go with
That's shocking,
I gotta go
Mark.
Redskins and the money line. You know, I never bet on my own team because I always bet on the opposite team
Mhm.
because if they win, I win money. If I win, I feel better. But
So win-win.
But only because of a win-win. Don't tell Steve. But you know, this last year, it was kind of like, I don't know, you know, it's like my playing against Philadelphia. You know, like 9 out of 10 games, the last 10 games you lost. And you should have. Giants are a better team than Philadelphia. But Giants are a better team than Washington. But I think they got covered.
You got our number because of 1 year?
Well, the most recent year, I'm not talking about 1922, I was talking about last year.
1922 was a fabulous year for the
I
Giants.
think it was too. And they were still in New Jersey. Here, let's ask Kenny.
I believe Plymouth won the NFL title that year.
In 1922?
I believe so.
Who was the quarterback?
I don't know the quarterback.
Oh, Mario.
Y.A. Tittle.
Y.A. Tittle, my favorite name in
Grandfather, it
football.
was my grandfather.
Kenny, grab the mic and talk.
You don't have to grab the mic, you're not getting the mic.
Give them some chili so we'll stop talking.
This is 5 Alarm Chili here at Murphy's Law. Flamingo just, when we're talking about food, I've got to tell you, we're having some great
Here we
food
go.
here at Murphy's Law. Flamingo just eats
yeah.
some hardware, so stop by and visit us. Where drinks are free, but the gambling isn't.
Okay.
What's your take on the
Hey,
game?
Jail, did you drop the soap?
Exactly.
I did drop the
Oh!
I did drop the soap. What was the
Did you
question?
meet Bubba?
I did meet Bubba, yeah. I did meet Bubba. Now the Giants, I don't like this playing the 7. They're a horrible favorite at home, and he knows that. They played Cleveland, who's an inferior team. This is a division game. 7 points is a lot of points in a division game. And this is a huge game for both teams. 7 points is too much.
Over and under 49.5.
This looks like an over as bad as the Redskins defense is, and as good as the Giants are scoring this year.
That's what I said.
Yep.
I concur.
Ron, any other opinions, RB?
I'm content with that game. I'm ready for the New Orleans game.
Well, let's talk about New Orleans.
Let's go to the next
The
game.
New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What are they wearing underneath their bucket hats? 49.5. Saints -3. Over and under 4.5. Kenny, let's start with you again since you're a man of few words. I can't believe Marty's eating that.
It's got a cocktail or a cupcake or jelly. I'm not liberal here. I got nothing over here.
It's a restaurant and a bar.
Let's go make it. You get you whatever you want.
I like the Saints in this spot. They own the Buccaneers. The Saints got off the schneid against the Chargers a few weeks ago. They're in a good spot here.
Here's what the world, according to Matt Newman, says.
It's not human. Why is he getting so much time on the show?
Because that's the only newspaper I got.
Okay.
Drew Brees is saying all the right things and his team is off a bye. There's no fixing what's wrong with the New Orleans defense. The Saints 5-10 in their past 15 tries as road favorites. Were upset 26-20 at Tampa Bay last year, and that was with Coach Sean Payton. Ron.
Without Jimmy Graham, it's a whole other team. Even with Darren Sproles adding a new dynamic, there's no run game. It's a little imbalanced. And without the coach, I really don't trust New Orleans all season long. That was one game, very rare before the season starts. I love to go out there and bet what the book says is the team's gonna win, how many games. And I was all over New Orleans without Peyton. But on Tampa's side, everybody loved Doug Martin coming out, and I know he's a steady Eddie, but he hasn't really electrified me in any way, shape, or form, and I'm kind of disappointed by the kid. I mean, they force feed the ball because they want to run a balanced offense, and Freeman's just barely hanging on. I mean, as much as he's improved after a sophomore slump, he still hasn't really impressed me. So still, in a dogfight, I like Tampa. Jimmy Graham's just too valuable.
Money Mario line. Money line Mario.
Well, the
What's
Saints,
saying?
the Saints team this year is a bad combination of an offense that can't run the ball and a defense that is a sieve.
Noma's back.
Yeah, well, Vilma's back. Come on, you can't say he's going to have any kind of impact on this game. The Saints still score points, but the Bucs have held teams to 20 points. One thing I like about this game, and I don't know what the record is, but the Bucs are going to wear their throwback jerseys, a la Steve Young
Or the creamsicle jerseys.
and Wilder, James Wilder out of the backfield with Dewey Selman sacking the quarterback.
Jimmy Giles.
He got Nix at left guard playing against his own team. He went to the Bucs this year. And I got to mention Rondé Barber's play last week. He did it again, another pick six. The guy, maybe he's not on a lot of people's ballot, but he is on mine. He will be a Hall of Famer one day, Rondé Barber. I like the Bucs only because there's so much not to like about this Saints team. I don't know why they don't get Pierre Thomas, going more, or Ingram. They simply must be able to run the ball better than they are. I like the under, and I like the Bucs.
I have to agree with you, Mario. I do like the Bucs, but for a different reason. Tampa Bay is the lightning capital of the world. Everybody probably knows that. They have more than 10,000 strikes of lightning in some given days. I think the lightning is going to strike and hit the Saints which is the drinking capital of the world, besides Las Vegas, all the way to Tampa Bay.
That's pretty random, Mark.
Did you know they were lightning capital of the world?
I did not know
I did.
that.
Yes.
I live there.
Tommy and Casey
He
do.
was struck.
Yeah,
He was struck.
we live there.
You really
The
do?
cameraman, though, and you didn't notice. Oh my God.
Kenny, who do you like in this game?
I live in Sarasota. He's right. It's the lightning capital of the world.
Think
Central
we move
Florida.
on?
Well, let's talk more about lightning. What exactly is lightning?
Science
It's telling
talk.
that the capital of the world is surrounded by Tampa Bay.
And why can't you capture it twice?
It does strike twice.
No, it doesn't.
Kenny, can you
See,
grab the mic and talk
Tommy and
about
Casey
please?
are saying no, but they know you two were really hit by lightning.
No.
No, I said that. It was funny.
You said it.
It was a joke.
But it wasn't.
Kenny,
John-
you like
John
this game,
believes
Kenny?
everything you
There.
say.
Grab the mic and go.
You can do it.
They're lucky there's no random drug testing here.
We've been
My
testing.
goodness. No, I like the Saints in the spot. I do. I think they're going to turn their season around. If the Buccaneers are wearing their creamsicle jerseys, I lived outside of Tampa back in the day when Vinny was colorblind and thrown to the wrong team because he couldn't. True story.
Yep.
Vinny was colorblind and they didn't know it, and they wore the creamsicle jerseys and he was thrown to the wrong team on many
I
occasions.
did not know that.
That's a fascinating stat. I
Sure,
know
it
that.
is. It is. The
See,
Buccaneers are.
Was he hit by lightning?
They're cursed in those creamsicle jerseys.
I like creamsicles.
I would love to know
You
what
like
their record
everything.
is.
Australian pizza, French fries, he likes it.
No, I didn't touch the french
It's 12:45 and John has stopped you.
fries. No, it's not. We're not airing live, so it's not 12:45. You're wrong again.
Wink, wink.
Once again brought to you by the LVH Hotel and Casino, the best pro football viewing party in all of Las Vegas. It's Football Central at the LVH. Watch your favorite teams on huge 50-foot high-definition screen, state-of-the-art sound, system, food and drink specials, including $1 hot dogs, $2 LeBlanc shots, $2 Miller Draft, prize giveaways, much more of this at the LVH Hotel and Casino. Football Central. Also, the new 2012 ATS Cadillacs are on display, Marty, and Las Vegas Cadillac. Cadillac, Las Vegas, and West Sahara. I know you're a Cadillac guy. So let's move on to the next game here. We're moving on to the 120. There's only two 125 games. New York Jets, New England Patriots. Mario, minus 13 on the Patriots, over and under 47.
I want to turn this over to Kenny first because I want to know what you know of the record of when a spread moves 2.5 points and what like normally happens.
The Giants usually lose.
Whoa! Oh!
The
Slam.
Patriots opened up at 10.5 and now it's 13.
No, it was
Can you stick
13.
with
If
it?
you had last week's sheet, it opened at 13.5.
I'm looking at something I got at Cantor's
No,
on
last-
Monday.
This last week, when they put the lines out for the games a week ahead of the time, it was 13.5.
So it was down to 10.5, now back up to 13? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
And so far this year, only one team has covered a 10-point spread. The Houston Texans
Houston
both
Texans.
times. The other times teams laying 10 have not covered. Seattle was on the ropes last week. New England had them on the ropes, and
Oh, they beat them.
No, they had them on the ropes, and they had the game won, and then all of a sudden Belichick decides he's going to run the ball every play. And Seattle had a couple fortunate plays that went their favor. And I don't think this paper, you're going to go, yeah, he's a Jets fan. This is why he's saying this. Hernandez is hurt, Gronkowski's a little banged up. I just don't think this Patriots team is as good as everybody says it is. Their glory years are behind them. Yes, they're still a good team, but their glory years are behind them. These teams hate each other. You know, Rex Ryan said, I didn't come here to kiss Belichick's rings. So these teams hate each other. It's a dogfight, and whoever wins this game is going to be in first place. The entire AFC East is 3-3. Who would have thought that?
No, I agree with you. The whole conference is mediocre from top to bottom. When you look at it, I mean, right now, the point spread on the Super Bowl is only 1.5 points for the NFC. I think that's incredibly low. If I was a gambling man, I would jump on 1.5 points because the likely scenario will be 4 or 5 points. The
If
way I
you
see
were a
the two
gambling
teams.
man.
I think he is.
I'm not a gambling man. You think I am?
I am.
All right, Jonathan, I would suggest you bet the NFC now in the Super Bowl.
Well, I'm going to take the Jets with 13 points, only because it's 13 points.
You know, though, the Jets do give Tom Brady fits. His completion percentages are down. His touchdowns to picks are, you know,
This is
the
our
wrong.
You're not saying money line.
I like the Jets.
Yes.
I'm not saying money line. It's hard to give 13 points to the Jets, especially in this rivalry. but they are coming off an awful loss. I don't know how in 2 deep coverage that the Patriots let Seattle get deep on them. That's a terrible loss, and they might just take it out on the Jets. The Jets' best offensive weapon is Sean Green. Let's not forget how dubious that distinction is.
That says a lot. What did you mention his total touchdowns last week in 2011? That was impressive. Three scores out of Sean Green. That guy's never done anything.
Never.
Well, I've got to take the Jets plus 13 and over 47 points. That needs to be a big
Tebow's
score.
playing running back.
I'm going to lay the points with the
They're
Patriots.
going to play running back.
That's what the Romer. Little touches.
I don't care the over-under one way or the other this game.
You're listening to Vegas Sports Nuts coming to you live, kind of, from Murphy's Law on Flamingo, just east of Maryland Parkway. Stop by every Saturday for free cocktails during our show. Vegas Sports Nuts brought to you by Cadillac of Las Vegas, west of the LVH Hotel and Casino, where tonight you can see Led Zeppelin again returning to the LVH. Amazing Led Zeppelin tribute captures the heart and soul of one of the world's greatest rock bands. Tickets available at the box office or at the LVH Hotel, LVH.com. So we'll be right back after this commercial message here on Vegas Sports Nuts! Welcome back, I'm Johnny Scott. Welcome back to Vegas Sports Nuts, coming to you from Murphy's Law on Flamingo, East Maryland Parkway, brought to you by Cadillac of Las Vegas, on West Sahara, the LVH Hotel, on 3000 Paradise Square there. Home of Football Central, 50-foot high-definition monitors and concert sound, smoke-free environment, $1 hot dogs, $2 shots of LeBlanc. Let's move. Do we have more about Jets and Patriots, or do we pretty much kill that?
Well, Patriots have won 15 of the last 20, but with a 13-point spread, it's irrelevant.
Raider Nation, Oakland Raiders at home, -5. Jacksonville Jaguars, +5. 43 is the over and under. Mario.
We can go through this one quick. This is Pig Fest #2 with the other coaches bowl here, questionable coaches. Another one, you hold your nose and you pick a team. In fact, I'm not going to pick a team. I would say the under, but I wouldn't put my good hard-earned money on this game. We should talk about something else.
Turnover fest, that's all.
What do you want to talk about?
The next 2 games.
That many turnovers.
The Raiders played their hearts out, beat the Falcons physically, statistically, in every category last week. But good teams find a way to win, and bad teams find a way to lose, and that's exactly what the Raiders did last week. How are they going to get up for this game? I don't know, but Jacksonville's got Maurice Jones-Drew, then end of story. And yeah, this is another Pig Fest game. I don't see how the Raiders are going to get up in this game the way they played their hearts out and just handed the game to the Falcons last week.
That's 2 teams that have handed games to the Falcons. Carolina 2 weeks before that. I don't buy this Falcon team, and when I haven't really talked about them because they're on a bye, right?
Right.
The Giants beat them by at least the score that they beat them last year in the playoffs right now. They are not legit 6-0. They could be 4-3. 4-2.
If we can move off of that, let's talk about Steelers and Bengals. It's a pick. No spread. So Mario, go ahead.
Okay, Rob, why don't you do a take on that?
You got something, Rob?
Just that the Steelers without Polamalu, he's out again, right? I mean, it's just obviously it reflects, and when you got that passing offense in sync, and you have, maybe their running game is a little soft, even though Ben Jarvis Green has been turning it over out of random, but Cincinnati is just a different team. I cannot believe we're watching a Cincinnati team that actually is productive. Since Carson Palmer and Ocho Cinco in their prime, it's been 6 years.
Mario, Steelers, Bengals, who do you like?
Well, the Red Rockets, you got to like him. I like the Bengals in this game. There is no Woodley or Polamalu on defense, but more importantly, there's no Mendenhall or Redmond in the backfield. The Steelers are once again going to live and die by Ben. This guy is going to be ravaged by the time his career is over, but he is a warrior.
Big Ben.
I will take the Bengals.
Over.
Over.
The Steelers have to start a running back, Jonathan Dwyer, off of their practice squad. Ben's going to have to win this game, and the Bengals are giving up points to everybody. Right?
All right, let's go to Monday night. We got to talk about my Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions. Bears -6, 47.5. Mario.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Always root for the Bears when the Giants aren't playing. Bears are a rested team with an incredible defense. They are, I think, the best defense in the league. Them and the Niners, but they could put points on the board. It's so impressive. What do they have, 6 touchdowns this year? That's incredible. I like the Bears. I like the under. Tillman is a beast at safety.
Peanut Tillman. Yeah.
And that's what I think.
Ron, anything else you got? Kenny, got something?
Which quarterback is hotter, Matthew Stafford or Jay Cutler?
Cutler.
Dr. Jekyll or Hyde? I don't know.
but Harbaugh was a bum.
But Stafford in the fourth quarter, kind of like Ponder last week, he brought the team back.
Megatron's got 1 touchdown.
I know. Calvin Johnson, I got him on fantasy. He's got 1 touchdown in 6 games. Terrible.
That'll change against the Bears. He does eat up our secondary. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the Bears, I really don't see them blowing them up like everybody else seems to be thinking. And because Stafford's been a little bit off. That's a tight game. 6 points. It's tight. I really think that's a field goal game in the end. It's going to look flashy for a quarter and a half. They'll come out swinging. Everybody will be going nuts, and the defense looks like.
I got to take my Bears, and I got to go under at 47.5 points.
What's the weather like supposed to be on Monday night?
Well, you don't say Chicago if you don't like the weather. Wait 5 minutes.
I know. You got a dome team playing on the road on the grass outdoors.
I predict a blizzard.
Hopefully, right?
And then frogs and then pestilence.
Yeah, because the Lions can't run the ball, so if it's a windy, chilly night, you gotta like the Bears laying the 6.
Color should get time too. There's no pass rush from that Detroit Lions. I don't know what happened to Sue, but
Van der Bosch has done nothing this year.
And Urlacher. How could you forget Urlacher? How could you forget Brian Urlacher, All-Pro? And
Briggs has been playing incredible this year. Briggs has been
the Bears could be the sleeper.
The Bears got 5 Pro Bowlers on defense alone.
So that's it. We're gonna wrap it up from Vegas. Vegas Sports Nuts. Is that the name of the show?
Yes.
Vegas Sports Nuts. Sandy's at the name of the show. Vegas Sports Nuts.
Vegas Sports Nuts.
Vegas Sports Nuts.
Sports Nuts.
Murphy's Law, Flamingo, East of Maryland, Parkway. Thank you for our sponsors. Can't let it go. Vegas. The LVH Hotel Casino, home of Football Central. Make sure to tune in on YouTube if you want to see us getting crazy and me eating chili. And that's it. We'll see you next time from Murphy's Law here on Flamingo and East Maryland Parkway.